There we go. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Men Still Podcast, episode 16, y'all. Thank y'all for once again always showing support to my channel. I love you guys, and I love doing this for you guys, talking to great folks like yourself. So I'm here with a guy that I personally know. His name is Nick. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Doing very well.
Now, those guys don't know Nick. Nick is a graduate student of EIU who is pursuing an MBA and major for his undergrad in management with an international concentration,
Yes, sir.
and also he minored in entrepreneurship.
Yep.
So you want a little insight about that?
Sure. So, when I first got into EIU here, I wanted to get just a management degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that was kind of what I always wanted to do, is to help people, and management is sort of, kind of people work, helping people, things like that. And so that's why I came here, was for that degree. Another reason why I came to EIU in the first place was the amount of, help they were giving me, assistance in terms of, grants and scholarships due to my grade point average in high school. So
Wow.
I was like, well, I mean, they're gonna practically, charge me nothing for my undergraduate.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I was like, well, I have to take that deal. It was the EIU Merit Scholarship, and so I took that deal, came down here to EIU, and then I started working.
All right. And how's your journey been for you so far? Yeah, because this is your second year, right?
This is my 6th year here at EIU.
Okay.
I did my all 4 years here at undergraduate, and now this is year 2 of my graduate program, and I'll be graduating this semester in May.
Me too. I'll be done May 2. I've been here for 5 years.
Oh, yeah,
Since 2021. So
We're almost out.
almost I'm thinking ready. I need a break, but
Me too.
that's great, man. And like I said, congratulations on making it to graduation. You're gonna do really well. Before we get to our main points, just like a little quick side note, like where are you from originally, and
Sure.
yeah, where you from?
So originally, I actually start with the county because it's a small town. So I start with the county, and most people, if they don't get at the county level, I'm like, yeah, I'm just small town, whatever.
It's
So
okay.
originally, I'm from a town called Spring Grove in the county of McHenry County.
Yes.
And if you don't know where that is, I'm close to like Lake County,
Mhm.
like Fox Lake, Crystal Lake.
Oh, by Chicago, kind of.
I'm way west of Chicago.
Oh,
There's people in my area that say, oh, we're not from Chicago.
No.
Come on, we're not from Chicago.
no, we just have to say that.
No, but I was west of Chicago, kind of like outside, just a little outside of the suburbs, sort of in more the rural area. Grew up there my whole life. I never really moved around as a kid, and this was like the first big move was down here to Charleston.
And how was that? How was that adjustment? Like coming from, like I said, a little bit up north to now a little eastern to east, yeah.
A little southeast.
Yeah, southeast.
It was an adjustment. I've always been an independent person, so that I had some friends that came down here, and I noticed that they're kind of used to their parents doing some things for them.
Oh, really?
And so they kind of struggled living independently, and so that's something that I learned that I'm kind of thankful for growing up, is that I was raised with independence, and so coming down here and making that change to be independent, that wasn't that difficult. But the challenge with Charleston is that it's an isolated town.
It's not much to do. I'm not trying to diss Charleston, but it's just not a lot of opportunities. If you're looking for somewhere to grow, this is not the town.
And career-wise, I did find a good, while I was in my master's program. I'm not in this career anymore, but I did find basically like the best job you could get around here, which was the Rural King Distribution Center.
I read about that. Yes.
So that's like the most corporate job, besides the First Mid Bank, because they're headquartered here. Rural King is also headquartered here. And so I was like, well, these are the 2 company headquarters. These are like the big things I could shoot for. I shot for it. I got the job. No longer with Rural King. No bad blood or anything, but yeah, I kind of found the water well, and I'm ready to find a new one.
Well, like I said, I'll be praying that you find something new.
Thank
and I
you,
know they're making another Rural King. I don't know if it's like another corporate. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like by MIT. Yeah.
It's the new flagship store.
Yeah.
So their store 001, they're kind of refreshing it a little bit, because when they bring in people, from all across the country to be like, oh, you should, sell your products at Rural King. Like the first store was shabby, so they updated it.
Okay, then. Well, that's good though. So, like I said, good job, and like I said, job search is gonna be great for you. I got no doubts about you.
Thank you. Thank
All right, so let's get to the most important topics here. So,
Of course.
let's talk about small business fest coming up.
you.
So, like, is small business fest is happening? Is it happening Saturday, April 11th or the 12th?
It's happening Saturday, April 11th
Okay.
from 10 a.m. to
Yes.
5 p.m. in the library quad.
All right, then. So, like, first things first, my first question for you: what inspired the creation of a small business fest at EIU? Who created it? And yeah, tell me the story.
Okay, sure. So here's the story. So
Mhm.
basically, before the podcast started, I had to get the timeline because I've been doing this for so many years now. I had
I've
to
seen
be like,
them.
when did I start this actually?
Yes, I'm interested.
And so I believe I joined the EIU Entrepreneurship Club fall 2023,
Mhm.
maybe spring of 2022, early on. There, I met a person. Her name was Olivia Flowers.
Olivia Flowers.
She ran the Entrepreneurship Club during that time period when I joined in 2022, 2023. And so what I had noticed was there was already an existing economy within EIU, within the dorms. People already, like, if you do like a flea market, a swap meet, garage sale, whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
it was a market. And so I noticed in the dorms, people are doing side hustles.
Mhm.
They're selling clothes, they're doing hair, lashes, nails, food,
Mhm.
shoes, jewelry,
Yes.
everything. And I was like, this is amazing.
It is.
And it's almost like it's hidden. And I don't want it to be hidden.
Mm-mm.
I want everybody to see, the capabilities of EIU students, the power that they have within themselves, and the power that they have to create a community. And so I noticed that niche, that thing that I could do to help. And so Olivia,
Mhm.
she had the same idea. She said, she sells her products. She has a essential oil and cleaning brand, chemical-free cleaners and stuff like that. And so she was used to selling things at shows. And so she's like, I want to create, a fest. I want to create a fest too.
Absolutely.
Okay, great minds think alike. Let's do it.
Wow.
And so there was a lot of planning involved. There was a lot of just failing over and over again and learning from those failures
Mhm.
to where, we are where we are today. And so how it all started was, okay, well, how do we get this? We know we want to have an event. We know we want to have a place for students to sell their products and services on campus, to create a community and to have fun. How do we do this? So what I did was I joined the student government to sort of peek a look behind the curtain to see, how everything operates. And what I learned from being within the student government is I got to learn the names, phone numbers, email addresses, and offices of the people that truly run things.
Absolutely.
And so being able to learn those contacts, I was able to basically get what I want,
Mhm.
help people out, reach my goals, things like that. And so I joined that to get an inside look on how things work so that we could get the event planned. I also did it to try and get money for the EIU Entrepreneurship Club. And so what I actually did in student government, I set a precedent in legislation. It was the first legislation ever introduced where funds were going from within student government to an outside RSO. That never happened before. And I was able to push that legislation through and get the votes to do that.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. And so because that precedent was set, the Student Activity Center and things like that, and the sort of student engagement, they had to figure out, okay, how are we going to get money to RSOs? So because of that, they actually created a program where RSOs can apply and they can get things like a few $1,000s for their RSO. So that was a good thing that happened. And so going on with the bureaucracy of things, in order to start an event here on campus at EIU, you have to fill out the unusual event form
Mhm.
and the facility request form. That has to happen in order to get approved. And that doesn't even mean that you're going to be approved. They could deny you.
Mm.
So when you fill out the unusual event form, there's about 5-6 acronyms of departments that has to go and approve. So it's like, I don't remember the exact acronyms, but it's like UPD.
I think I remember it too. I forgot. Well, I think I know what you're talking. Yeah.
Vice President Student Affairs, VP
Mm.
Business Affairs. It's just like approved.
Oh.
So you have to get it approved with all of these departments that you kind of never really heard of. And then they also need a facility request form. And that's like the actual location that you are having your event. In order to have an outside event, you need unusual event and a facility request form. If you want to have like your weekly meetings for your RSO, you just need the facility request. You do not need an unusual event because it's not unusual, right? It's weekly. And so that's just to get started. Hopefully you get approved, knock on wood, right? So that happened.
Yes.
And then we're like, okay, our event is approved. How do we market this event? And so what you have to do, if you want paper flyers to be hung up on any of the approved bulletin boards here on campus, you have to get it approved through campus scheduling.
Yes.
Which means you have to know where their office is. You have to know who to talk to. You have to bring your flyers to campus scheduling. They're going to check and verify that your unusual event form has been approved. And then they're going to stamp each individual flyer like this over and over again to make sure that your flyers are there.
Yes.
So that's another layer of red tape that you have to go through in order to, market your event. And so I was like, okay, word of mouth, flyers, and social media.
Correct.
That's not enough. That's not good enough. That's not my standard. And so I noticed that there's mass emails that can be sent to all students, all faculty, all students, or all faculty combined. How do I get that mass email sent out to everybody?
Yes.
How do I do that? I want that to happen. So within EIU, there's a department called Marketing and Communications at the Booth House. They're located a little bit off campus. I mean, it's on campus, but it's, you have to cross a road. There's not any, classroom buildings over there. They're a little bit, far away, which personally I don't like, because if I wanted to, talk about EIU's marketing, try and market with EIU, it's like, you don't know where that building is. It's not in Old Main. It's across the street. Anyway.
Yes, not.
I go over there and I say, hey, I want to start a mass email sent out to all students from the EIU Entrepreneurship Club. No, we can't do that. That's never been done before. Well, just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't do it.
Exactly.
But see, the people that work at Booth House, they were scared. They've never done it before. So they could be, criticized by their boss. They could, their boss could say, hey, why did you do that? And so I partially understood where they're coming from. But on the other end, it's like, you could put in a little bit of effort to be like, oh, I'll check in maybe with my boss and see if we can do this for you. But it was just no. And then, before that, what you have to do bureaucratically wise is you have to actually fill out another form with the marketing and communications department to try and get the mass email sent out. Any photography for the event, any videography for the event, you can actually fill out a form with the marketing department at EIU, and they'll send somebody out to take pictures and record videos, which is nice. Unfortunately, I did that twice, and they never sent me the footage.
What?
And so, because I trusted EIU, I trusted EIU, I trusted their marketing department, I didn't take any pictures of the event myself. And so now, that specific Small Business Fest is forever lost to time.
Wow, I'm sorry about that.
I still never got that footage, and so I do have some opinions about the marketing and communications department here at EIU, and so what I did was, I'm not just going to take no for an answer. That's not what entrepreneurs do.
No.
And so I went to the boss, vice president of student affairs and Fraternity. We marched straight to her office, me and Olivia, and we said, hey, we have a great idea. We have a lot of people that want to do it. Can you help us? And she said, yes, absolutely. And ever since that moment, the EIU Entrepreneurship Club has been able to send a mass email about our event to every single student on campus.
Congratulations.
And that is truly how we broke through with the students here. Because sure, students see some flyers, they might see a post on social media, but to get an email from somebody addressed to all students.
Oh yeah.
It's different.
It is.
And actually what's funny, a side comment, because we got that mass email sent out to all students, some students thought that this was put on by faculty, by administration. It was just two students with, on their own 10 toes, on their own two shoulders. So, I take that as a compliment personally, because
as you should. You did that. Like you said no, and you said, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You did. Yeah,
exactly.
So that's actually really great, actually. And I'm really glad you told me that story because I think you kind of explained it a little bit more.
Mhm.
But I was going to say so let's say now that you got the mass email, okay, that's the great start. So now, what was like the next start? Like after you got the email, now like did you guys invite entrepreneurs to come out? Like tell me more about that.
So once we got the marketing, we did our flyers,
Mm-hmm.
we did the mass email, we did our social media posts. We also went to WEIU radio station. I walked into the office at Buzzard Hall,
Mm-hmm.
into the broadcasting section. I met the man. I shook his hand. I said, I want radio spots for the Entrepreneurship Club for our event.
And I have seen that video too.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Perfect. And so, he was actually very easy to work with. You just paid him some cash. He put the spots on WEIU. Bam, bam, bam. But what's most important, I feel, and the people that are running the club now, they have different personalities. They do things different ways, different behaviors. But in my heart, I think word of mouth is most important.
Absolutely.
And so before people really knew about this event, because now when I ask people, hey, have you heard of the Small Business Fest? They say yes. And for years, Terrell, for years, I was walking around campus begging people, pleading with them.
Yes.
Have you heard about this event? Please come to this event. Do you create things? Do you do things? Do you have a side hustle, something that you enjoy, that you want to make money off of? Please sign up for this event.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how you truly break through to people.
Absolutely.
In this day and age, I think it's very important that you talk to somebody and you look at them and you express, the significance of the event, why you want to do it. And they see your sincerity and they say, okay, well, this person means business, let's see what they have. And I'll give you a specific example. So when I was passing the club off to the new president and vice president, back when I was running the club a couple semesters ago at this point, we did a thing, an exercise, you could say, where I brought them all out and I said, all of you disperse and talk to people, pass out flyers. And I watched them, kind of like a creep, but I watched them.
Nah.
And so I noticed that, because of this day and age with phones and stuff, a lot of people are afraid to just walk up into somebody's space.
And talk.
And so I was kind of peeping. I was creeping and peeping. And they were walking down the sidewalk. I'll do a little example here. So they're about to walk up to somebody and they were going, and then they just, no. And then they just kept walking because they were too afraid. They're, never mind. And I said, hold on. This is a teachable moment. So I walk up. And the person that they were going to talk to but were too afraid to talk to, I walked up to them and said, hey, have you heard of the Small Business Fest? No. Well, are you a creative person? Do you make things? Oh my gosh, yeah. I have an entire bin full of crochet plushies that I have been making for years. Had you not talked to that person, that you would have never found out that they've been making crochet plushies, that they have a passion for creation, and that they have the ability to sell their products at the Small Business Fest. And so that's why I think that it's so important, is because people can walk past a flyer, they can scroll past a social media post, but they have to listen to you when you talk to them.
And I'm glad you said that. Okay, this is the side tangent.
Let's do it.
So like going back to that interaction, like you say, day and age technology, people, social media is taking over. People are more on the phone instead of social interaction. Do you think that's a lot? No, my bad. Do you think that's a lost art? Like just talking to people, coming to people, just telling people about your business, or just social interactions in general, in terms of just like meeting new people?
I'm not going to say it's a lost art, because I think that art will always prevail. Even in times of struggle, art always prevails. Whether it's graffiti, whether it's billboards protesting, whether it's a statement piece, a political cartoon, art will always prevail. I think that what's happened in this day and age is it's the era of fear.
Okay.
A lot of people are afraid. And why are they afraid? Because there are constant cameras that can always record you. Why don't people dance at parties anymore?
Records. Or just fear of looking goofy.
Why don't people act silly anymore? Why don't people act genuine anymore? Because they're afraid.
Yes.
And so it's unfortunate. And, just walking up and talking to people, it's a skill you have to develop. You have to have the confidence to do so. Kind of just, there's sort of like a feeling of no F's to give that you sort of have to have, where it's like, I don't care what they think about me. I don't care what they're going to say about me after this interaction. I just have to go for it.
Absolutely.
And so, the fear of failure is what, keeps people trapped. So, yeah.
And I was gonna say, what advice can you give for people? Let's say, it ain't just gotta be about just business, like want to move to a different state or job or etc. Like advice you can give them just trying to get out their comfort zone and just follow their dreams and passions.
It's hard to follow your dreams in society, right?
Hmm.
What I want to do is I want to make a space for people to sell their products and services, to express themselves.
Yes.
I want to take the top performers from the Small Business Fest and put them in retail box office locations. Unfortunately, I have to get a job. I have to pay the bills. So that's just, what you have to do. You have to get a job and you have to pay the bills. But if you can take some time out of your week, out of your month even, to just focus on something that you truly enjoy,
Hmm.
something that you're passionate about, and just keep building upon that brick by brick, eventually you'll have something.
And that's good, man. Because I feel like I do agree with you because I want to branch off to maybe Arizona or Texas
Mhm.
after college, just
Mhm.
fresh start or take this job elsewhere. But what my professor said, we as Americans, oh, not anymore, used to take risks, but now we don't. We're too complacent and what's the word I'm looking for? Also just more comfortable where we're
Yeah.
at. So I get that. So okay, so now going back to what you said, so now you kind of like you helped this one person out with talking to people with flyers. So now what was the next step after that? Now you got some people interested in now the small business fest.
Mhm.
What was the next step after that?
So that side tangent with the flyers and interaction, that happened later
Okay.
down the timeline.
Yeah.
Now, bring it back down to the, original, very first Small Business Fest.
Yes.
So this one was in spring of 2023 was our first Small Business Fest. And we had it set for the library quad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, once you get the word out, um, oh, one thing I did forget. Once you get the word out, you have to make a contract.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make a document that people signed that said, hey, EIU and the Entrepreneurship Club is not liable for any damages, anything that's, stolen. They're not responsible if I break something, anything like that. So yeah, I had to make a contract. And what's funny was that when I first did this, they actually had to sign the contract and mail it back to me.
Hmm.
That was a nightmare scenario.
Oh, really?
Yes, because people are, they might not get the letter. I have to ask for the address to mail the contract. They have to send it back to me. They're like, when do I pay the booth reservation fee? So that was something that I learned. I failed and I did something else. So now we just do a Microsoft form where people can fill out the form electronically and then submit it that way. And we have gotten way more signups that way because if you see a flyer and it says, email Nick Macaluso for a contract, then he has to mail it to you and you sign it and you ship it back to him. No, you scan the QR code, you fill out the form online, done.
Wow.
So that's the new step. And so when this all started out, we didn't have that many signups because I made it hard for people to sign up. But we did have 20 people that were signed up for the event. Oh, I need to turn my ringer off.
It's okay.
We had 20 people signed up for the event. The event was approved. We had it marketed. We sent out the mass email. And now all we have to do is hope. Of course, every day I'm talking to people. I'm asking them to show up and stuff. But we just have to get things ready. And so the day of the event comes. Oh, actually,
Mm-hmm.
the day of the event comes. You need tables and chairs, right?
Absolutely.
So how do you get tables and chairs? Well, with my time in student government, I was able to find out the person who fills out the work orders for tables and chairs for events here on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And so that person's name is Eileen Tremble.
Mm.
She is like the secretary or the administrator for like the grounds department. You wouldn't know how to get tables and chairs here at EIU if you didn't know that one person's email address.
Mm-mm.
And so that was the benefit of student government was I knew her contact. I emailed her. I said, hey, I need 20 tables and 40 chairs. Can you put in a work order? Yes, the work order has been submitted. The grounds department will drop off these tables and chairs under the down now overhang, and you have to set them up. Perfect. Another thing that you need to get approved by the grounds department is any sort of metal poles that you're going to be staking into the ground.
Yes.
So the grounds department needs to, implant those for you. And then It's also the grounds department, but it's like the electrical department here at EIU. They have to survey the ground. They pull up a map and they survey, all the electrical lines to make sure you're not about to damage something.
Yes.
And so that point of contact is a woman named Cece Brinker.
Mm-hmm.
She ran like the student life office, the student activity center. She was a great point of contact for me to get things done. For example, the grounds department one day, one of the events, this isn't the first one, but one of the events, they didn't stake our metal poles in the ground for our vinyl banner.
Wow.
That says, "Hey, Small Business Fest, here it is." And so I said, "Cece, where's the metal poles? We need our sign in here." She said, "The grounds team must have forgot about it. Let me submit an overtime pay for them so that they can come in and do it overtime, 24 hours notice." Had I not been in student government, had I not known her name, she would have never been able to give those people overtime pay for my event. And I actually will tell people real quick for the podcast, Cece Brinker recently stepped down.
She did.
I do have the contact information of the person that is replacing her because I was able to talk to Cece before she left. And that person's name is Katie Danner.
Katie Danner, y'all.
With a C. Katie Danner. And so she is in Cece's new position. And if anybody wants to start an event here on campus, that is a great person to talk to sort of, help with the red tape, help with the bureaucracy. And so back to, day zero for event number one, talking to her, getting the vinyl banner in place, getting the tables and chairs set up, getting the event approved, getting it marketed. It's all good. Now the day shows up and I have a sign-in table where the vendors come in and they sign in. They pay their $20 to reserve their table. And it's a first come, first serve. We don't have table numbers or anything like that. So first come, first serve, you set up your stuff and then, the day starts and you get going. And so originally when we first started this event, we had 20 vendors on one sidewalk chunk of the library quad. Now this event covers all four corners of the library quad. The amount of vendors is quadrupled from 20, and we currently have 85 vendors signed up for the Small Business Fest this Saturday, April 11th. And so it all started out, it was great. We've been blessed by having perfect weather every single time. We haven't gotten rained out yet.
Yes.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah.
The weather's looking a little bit iffy this coming Saturday, so hopefully everything will be okay. But the event happens, and I originally started it very early. Vendors had to show up at 8 a.m. We started the event at 9 a.m.
Whoa.
And we would close at 5.
That's good time.
Just like a regular business operation.
Yeah. Because I feel like, has it always been like that since day one, the same time, like 8 a.m. or?
So it's been the same time since it started, but we have gone back an hour. Okay. So now the event starts at 10 a.m. and vendors set up at 9 a.m. instead of 9 a.m., 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Why? Most students don't wake up until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
12 o'clock. But the earlier parts of the day when the event is up, usually members of the community will come because they're, older people in Charleston, older people in Mattoon. And so they'll kind of wake up early, go to the event early. And then, once the afternoon rolls around, more of the students show up. And so from the hours of like 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is when we have consistent traffic.
But like I said, and it's always really great because no matter the time, it's always a great turnout from what I've seen. Because I think I went to the very first one. Yeah, I think I don't know if it was the first or second, but I did see you there.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I know you said like you tell people about Small Business Fest to spread the word, and I always have. So
thank you, sir. Thank you.
No problem. I respect entrepreneurs just trying to be their own boss. And I was asking, so I know you probably said that, but like, how have you been seeing the Small Business Fest? How has it been thriving, or what's some pros now that you say you have 85 vendors this Saturday?
Currently speaking, we have 85 vendors signed up to participate in this event this Saturday.
How does that make you feel, honestly? The emotions, I guess you could say.
It feels great.
Honestly.
It really does feel great. I want this event to keep growing.
Yes.
I want more people to sell their products and services. I want to create a community here on campus. I feel like
yes.
there's a lack of community here on campus, and I've always been saying that.
I can agree with that. It feels dead, dull.
Yeah.
I heard people say it. I mean, one of my friends said this, like, whenever they come back, they feel like a sense of like emotional, like they don't want to be back here.
And that's not a feeling that you should have coming back to campus
No.
where you got your degree. Now, being in student government, I was able to look at and see the same events every single semester. They bring out the same goofy toys every single time. It's like, oh, let's bring out the plastic bowling pins and bowling ball. Let's bring out the plastic axe throwing thing. We'll set it up in the quad. It's the same thing every time.
And over.
And it's like, we got to change it up.
You have to.
And so it's like, you go in the dorms and you see everybody just doing these amazing things. And nobody in administration, nobody, that works here at EIU knows about it. And so that was my goal, was to make people know about it.
Absolutely. And I feel like you did an amazing job, and I, for real, salute you. And I really know your business fest will go strong next Saturday. And if you need any promotional, or if you need me to advertise, by all means, send it my way. I'll be happy to promote Small Business Fest.
You hear that?
Small Business Fest, y'all. But that's actually good. And so now is there anything else you want to talk about the Small Business Fest? We get to our next topic, the Entrepreneurship Club.
I mean, it's just a great event. I will talk about certain business aspects that I noticed. Being, having almost 2 degrees here in business, I noticed a few trends, really.
Let's talk about them.
So in the first Small Business Fest, we had members of the Crochet Club sell their crochet, plushies, stuffed animals, however you want to call it.
Yes.
And they were the best performing vendor that day. I used to track our vendors. I used to track how much money they made. I don't do that anymore. It felt a little invasive, but I was just really curious. Like, are people doing well? Like, is it worth it? And I mean, these people just killed it.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely killed it. They made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
And so they were the top performing vendor that semester. Now, I mean, the amount of crochet vendors is probably quintupled.
Yeah, it's increased a lot.
I mean, you could probably count on 2 hands the amount of crochet vendors that we have here on campus, because there was a market for it. There was a need for it, I guess a want. You don't need it, but I mean, there was a want for it. I mean, they did great, and people were like, oh, I can do that too. And so now there's, at least 5 people that sell crochet, at least, probably, closer to 8 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And just, this is now going to be event number 7. This is going to be our 7th Small Business Fest this Saturday. I mean, starting with one person that enjoys crochet, that sells it, going from, I mean, it's 10x. And so that's a trend that I noticed is crochet. A lot of people like it. A lot of people sell it. A lot of people buy it.
Yes.
Something that I noticed.
I was going to say, right, because bacon. Sure. I know my friend said she would love to participate in the bacon, like her products, but she said, I think she might not do it because it was like certain licenses and things you have to sign. But what about the bake sale?
You bring up a great point, Terrell, because I did not. I forgot to mention that, and that is another thing within the sign-up form for the Small Business Fest. You have to specify if you are selling food or not. Why do I need you to specify if you're selling food? Because you need to fill out an additional form with the Coles County Health Department.
Oh, yes.
To get a license to sell food on campus that day, and that is out of my control. You just have to go through the health department if you're selling food to get approved to sell food on campus. That's just out of my control. You have to do it. And so there's a form called the EIU Temporary Food Application. You fill that out. You bring it to the health department. They'll give you a temporary food permit to sell food the day of the event. They're going to inspect your booth to make sure you have a station to wash your hands, to make sure that your food is, prepped safe, make sure things are stored properly, make sure it's not exposed or it's going to go bad. And so it's an extra step that people have to go through to sell food at the event. And so some people, can't do it. Some people, they might forget about it. The health department might be slacking in some way. You do have to give them a 2-week notice. If not, you have to pay like 50 extra bucks.
Wow.
Which, if that happens, people will sign up. It's like, oh, I signed up and I filled out the form, but they said I have to pay extra money. And it's like, did you fill it out a week ahead of time? I filled it out a week ahead of time. Sorry, there's nothing I can do.
Oh, wow.
And so in cases like that, when you have to manage things like that, this person is upset. They have to pay an additional $50 to sell their food. They didn't realize it. It's in the fine print of the form. And so the best thing I can do is I just waived their $20 sign-up fee. And so all they had to do was pay 50 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just, something that I can do to help them out, because it's not about the money, it's about the community. And, I just had to do that. But our food vendors, they do incredibly well.
Absolutely.
The people that, it's a lot of baking, it's a lot of baked goods. We have had people sell their, cultural, their food from their culture before, but it's mostly baked goods, and they do extremely well for themselves.
Wow, that's absolutely great to hear, actually. And like I said, no, that's really great. And because I guess I know bake sale is also one, I'll say, probably pretty popular as well in terms of selling. So, but not, is there anything else? Any additional information about Small Business Fest, or anything you want to continue to add?
I'm a little scared. And why am I scared?
Yes, why are you scared?
I haven't been recognized. And it's selfish of me to want to be recognized. But I'm about to graduate, right?
Yes.
And when I graduate, no one's going to know who started all this, except for the people that were there when I was there. But you're going to graduate one day too.
Absolutely.
And once everyone that knows me graduates, then no one knows who started this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's selfish of me, but do I want some sort of
recognition?
I want some sort of recognition, right? I want somebody from administration to say, oh my gosh, look what you've done here on campus. Good for you. Here's your name, on a website or on a plaque on a wall, or just something for people to know what I've done. It's selfish, yes, but it's like I've put so many hours into this over the years. I've lost so many hours of sleep. I've done, so much physical labor, mental labor, putting on an event every single semester for 7 semesters straight, that'll do something to you. And so, the people know who I am, the people love me, but the administration, they don't. They don't know who I am. And is it on purpose? This is just a theory. It might be on purpose, because we are rivaling Springfest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our
numbers
have just been going up and up and up. See, oh yes, you didn't even know what Springfest was, did you?
I knew Springfest. I always go to Springfest, but I know in terms of quality, I always know the Small Business Fest does a little bit better.
So Springfest is the event that EIU administration puts on.
Absolutely.
It's quite similar to the Small Business Fest, where you have a lot of food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
You have vendors selling their products and services on campus, but here's the difference. Those vendors are not students.
They're not.
Well, you might have one or two that find out about it, but most of them, these are connections that administration already knows, that already have a business set up in a brick and mortar location, and that's not the point. The point is for students to find out the power that they have selling the things that they make, and create a community for themselves. And so, EIU administration, they shell out a lot of money to put on the Springfest. They have to pay, all the food trucks. I mean, they have a lot more food trucks. That was always a goal that I had with the Small Business Fest, was to get a food truck on there, because it kind of makes it official. You have a bunch of people set up in a square around the quad. You got a food truck. It's nice. And so, EIU administration with Springfest, they have a bunch of food trucks. Like 20 food trucks. They got a bunch of vendors. None of them are students. They shell out a lot of money to buy billboards for this event. And what do? I don't spend any money.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have more people showing up wanting to participate than them. And so they might feel threatened.
Mm-hmm.
They might feel threatened by that. They want to make sure that I don't succeed, so that their Springfest still survives.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to people that said, have you heard of Springfest? And they say no. And that's very surprising, because they've heard of Small Business Fest. Because what's more powerful than a billboard, than social media posts from, EIU administration, than anything is word of mouth. Finger on the pulse
Mhm.
of the student community. When they're interested in something and they talk to their friends about something they're interested in and they get interested in it, that's more powerful than any sort of form of marketing that you can do as EIU admin. And so I don't need to buy a billboard to get 85 people to sign up for my event. I have my finger on the pulse.
Mhm.
And so, going back to recognition, I haven't been recognized by administration for that reason. What I think is because I'm threatening their Springfest. And have I been recognized? Yes, at the Panther Leadership Awards, but I had to apply to do that. I have to apply to be recognized.
You want to? It would have been better if you were nominated, but at least by one
Ex-
administration. It would have been better.
Or nominated, or maybe just someone from administration be like, "Oh my gosh, Nick, look at all the good work you've done. Thank you."
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Am I doing it for them? No.
No.
I'm doing it for the people.
Absolutely.
So if I'm not recognized at the end of the day, that's okay, because that's not the goal. If me being recognized mean that this event doesn't continue, then I will gladly work in the shadows.
And you know what? It'll be good to have. It'll be good to have you to be recognized, but at the same time, you worked on this. And obviously you had help, but it was your idea. Was it your idea, or I know it was you and Olivia's?
So me and Olivia,
You and Olivia's idea.
we both came in and we had an idea.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want people to sell what they're doing in the dorms and put it on campus. And she said, oh, I already go to these vendor shows. I want to put that on campus too. And so we had the same idea, and we worked hard together to make it happen. Unfortunately, Olivia had to bow out due to unforeseen circumstances.
Yes.
So after that first event, I carried the torch for the remaining events after that and put that on my shoulders. So most of the time, it was just me.
And
All of this was just me. And I'm not trying to be selfish about it, but it's true.
Mhm.
I was the one. I know where every single bulletin board is on this campus, and I'm not exaggerating. Putting up flyers for 3 years straight, finding these bulletin boards, I know where every single one is because it was what I had to do. It was what I did for so long, and talking to people when they tell me, "Oh, I already know what Small Business Fest is," I feel like I accomplished what getting the word out.
and honestly, it'll be good. Maybe I can also do my part. Maybe talk to. I'll talk to the administration too. Like, hey, can Nick get an award or just some recognition? Because you do deserve it, and if you feel like you deserve, because not like I say, like, hey, I want my recognition. Like, no, you did it for the people, the students, to showcase your talents, and for sure.
I want my flowers. Crap.
Yeah.
It's like
No, and like I say, and you deserve. I believe you do deserve it, and if you don't get it, at least you did something that it's not going away. I don't see it's going away no time soon.
I think it's become too big to go away.
They can't do that. Yeah.
Think about it. You start an event with 20 people. The next semester, it doubled to 40 people.
Exactly.
The following semester, it went from 40 to 45.
Mm-hmm.
The semester after that, it went from 45 to 60. Then it went from 60 to 65.
Yes.
Then I think we hit somewhere in the 70s, low 70s.
Wow.
And then this semester, it went from low 70s, 85.
And I'm excited.
It's crazy.
I'm excited to see because now I'm truly excited to see how it's going to look like next weekend. I'm truly excited.
I do have a message for my African American EIU students here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You all really show up for the Small Business Fest. You all show up. You all participate. There's so many, I'm just going to say black. There's so many, black entrepreneurs that create their own products and services. But here's the thing. You guys aren't in the club. Join the club.
Please do, my brothers and sisters,
Please.
join.
We want to hear from you. We want to know, what we can do to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
We want to hear your voice, your opinion, what you sell, what you do. There's so many things that you guys do, lashes, hair, nails, everything. And we want to see how we can make the experience better for you. So I just a call of action, to all the black students here at EIU, please join the EIU Entrepreneurship Club. You guys show up for the event. I would say it's 50-50 in terms of Small Business Fest, black to white, but it's like, you guys don't show up for the club. And we need you there because you're so crucial to the event that we want you in the organization to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got.
I like that, man. And you know what? I know BSU is happening. I will actually, if you have a flyer, I will actually send that to BSU and they can advertise that too.
Okay,
I got you.
I can do that.
I got you, man. Let's switching gears. Let's switch gears here. Like I said, definitely shout out to Small Business Fest, y'all. April 11th from
Yep.
10 to 5.
10 to 5.
10 to 5, yeah. So come on out. And I know you said, because when we were walking, you say you want to talk about the bureaucratic obstacles here at EIU. You know, what's some of the issues that you see that needs to be addressed or things you want to talk about?
So, I talked about, a lot of the bureaucracy to get an event started, the multiple forms you have to fill out, the things you have to get approved for your flyers, who you need to talk to make sure that the grounds department, gets set up. But there's another thing in terms of bureaucracy of people want to take your credit.
Okay, let's talk about that.
And so
that's interesting.
We had a lot of people that want to, let me help you out. I'm going to help you out. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Oh, we might show up the day of the event, set up a few chairs, a few tables. Well, but can we put our logo on everything? Why am I going to put your logo on everything that I've made because you helped me for an hour?
Exactly.
I've set up these tables and chairs by myself for years. I don't need your help.
No.
And so that's something to look out for is people that claim that they want to help you.
But they're only doing it to be in the spotlight.
But they're doing it to put their logo on your stuff. Now, this has happened. We've had some fraternities do that. We've had student government do that. And, shouts out to student government. I served as a student senator for 2 years. I was actually committee chair for the business affairs committee. I was very active there, but, I knew what they were going to do. They just wanted to slap their logo on everything, technically show up, but, just take, credit for being there. And so that's an issue that the Entrepreneurship Club has, is because we're the only RSO that does this. A lot of RSOs collaborate with each other.
Yes.
We don't.
Is there like a specific reason why? Like no collabs?
Just for the exact reason I mentioned. They don't want to put in the effort, but they want the credit for it.
Yes.
It's like, we're not going to put your RSO's logo, your fraternity's logo, your student government logo on all of our stuff that we've been working so hard on for years because you wanted to help out for 2 hours for one day. I can't do it.
Yes.
I can't do it. It's unconscionable to me. And so this brings me into Booth Library. Now, it was always a goal for me to host our weekly meetings here at Booth Library.
Yes.
And, hats off to Booth Library. I'm not trying to defame them. I'm not trying to talk bad about them. I'm just going to say what happened with my goals conflicting with the goals of the people that run the Booth Library.
Yes.
And so I wanted the Entrepreneurship Club's weekly meetings to be at the Student Center of Innovation. It's at the bottom floor here at Booth Library. I noticed it's a classroom space. There's a podcasting space, 3D printing, VR. It's a whole interesting space for creative people to be creative. And so I was like, well, we could have our weekly meetings here. Every time I went over there, it always seemed kind of dead, kind of empty. And we need to put some life into this room. It's great. And so basically I just started showing up there every week. They said, you can't show up here every week. You have to request, this space. Okay, I've requested spaces before on campus. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, here's the issue. And, there was an email chain with, people here at Booth. Eventually I gave up trying to have the Student Center of Innovation as our meeting space. And here's why. I need a set in stone date and time every week to host our meetings. I cannot request every single week and just hope and pray that you get back to me. Now, this is what happens. Every single week, it's like, it's Monday. Let me request Booth. And so I was doing that every single Monday for weeks, and they wouldn't get back to me. It would take them forever to approve it would take them forever to approve the space. It would take them forever to get back to me. Hold on.
I'll take it.
Excuse me. And so one day, like the day before the weekly meeting is supposed to happen, I get an email that says, you've been denied. I can't do that because I have 20 people that know the date and time that this is going to happen. And if I change it, then I say, oh, hey, we're actually meeting at this location at this time. Maybe 5 of them will show up. it just completely destroys the amount of people that show up, the amount of people, that attend. It destroys attendance, because humans are creatures of habit. They want to show up to their meeting every week at this day, at this time. And if I say, oh, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, the attendance gets slashed. And so Booth said, we can't give you this every single week because we want to host our events there too. And so it's like, okay, well, your events, you don't have that many events down there. You might have 2 the entire year that I've noticed. And so, but here's where it comes back to, control and things like that. They didn't want to give up control of their space to us. Because if they're agreeing that, oh yeah, you guys can show up here every Tuesday for the rest of the semester, and they're giving up that Tuesday to us. They're giving up control. And they didn't want to give up control of the event. Not of the event, of the space. And so, I had to respectfully, change locations and, start the weekly meetings elsewhere. But it was very upsetting because my goal was to put people in the Student Center of Innovation. Student Center of Innovation Entrepreneurship Club. It makes sense. The words match. But unfortunately, they didn't want to commit to having us there every single week because it could disrupt what they have planned, what they want to do. And that's okay. But I just think it's extremely unfortunate that, because they wanted to have control, because they wanted to, have the ball in their court every single time, be like, oh, we might approve you, we might not. Just send us an application every single week. We might get back to you, we might not. It was, I couldn't operate that way. I have to be consistent in order to grow. And, consistency is key. And so I have to have my weekly meetings in a set location so that people know where it is every single day. And, it's just a little side tangent that I wanted to go on the unfortunate things that happen because of bureaucracy, because of people wanting control, because of people wanting to promote, their organization, their event, their department, they're selfish.
Yeah. And I was going to say, is there anything you want to see? Not even just, let's talk about EIU Booth Library for 1 second. We'll go on to another one. But like any improvements you want to see with the EIU Booth Library in terms of like, having like the approved space being like booked on time, like or anything.
I think that a way to work around this is absolutely, this is the Booth Library. Booth should be able to plan their events, first. I understand that. But if you guys, don't open it up to students, then this is what happens. We just tried to go to the Student Center of Innovation to film this podcast because they have podcast equipment.
They do.
And what happened?
It was closed.
It was closed because nobody shows up. And so if nobody shows up, they're not going to staff it. And if they're not going to staff it, then the opportunity is dead. And now the opportunity is dead. Maybe if you had people in there every single week consistently, other students would have noticed that and been like, oh, what's this? But no, now it's closed.
Wow. And it's definitely sad because I've always wanted to use it, and like I said, I don't know what the current situation is with the EIU Library, maybe they're short staff, but hopefully things will change because I feel like this school's been through a transitional period with new people, with staff stepping down, retiring, new folks stepping in. I always tell people this: do you think EIU? Well, we're gonna be gone, but like, do you think EIU is their chance to have a complete reset of like student involvement on campus and trying to turn things around for the better for the new year?
Well, if you've noticed, a lot of faculty and staff have left EIU. Why? Because we got a grant that was cut, and so the federal government cut a grant for EIU, and so they had to correct the budget, and that was not renewing the contract for a lot of faculty that I think were very essential. At least for I can't speak for all the departments here because I'm a business major, but for Lumpkin, Brian Goad,
miss him.
The internship coordinator that got me and all of my friends jobs is gone now. I mean, he was just a great stepping stone to get people internships and jobs here on campus, and now he's gone.
I think that was a bad move.
I think it was a bad move.
I think it's a bad move, not gonna lie.
I mean, he got me, I could count on 2 hands the amount of people he got jobs like a real corporate, good job or an internship. He did it for so many people, and now that's gone. But that was out of EIU's hands. I can't really give him that much flack for it. But
Mm-hmm.
what I wish EIU would do is, bridge the gap between the students and the administration,
Mm.
and maybe have like a student committee. I mean, I guess student government is that committee, but maybe a committee of registered student organizations or fraternities or something that actually can talk to, EIU administration. And I'm sure there's something like that exists. I mean, it sounds too logical for it not to exist. But I mean, all I know is that there is a disconnect between the students and the administration. And how do I know that that disconnect exists? Because an event started by one student with some crappy tables and chairs is doing better than an event started by administration with billboards,
Mhm.
social media posts, and a blown out budget.
Yes. And honestly, I think it's better come from the students when they create something because it's original
It's authentic.
and relatability.
It's an authentic experience because
Mm-hmm.
when EIU puts on events, they're trying to relate. They're trying to relate to the students. But when students put on an event for students, they already know. They know the trends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is with the finger on the pulse, these students are creating things that are trendy. Like for example, crochet. Crochet is trendy. And because
Mhm.
crochet is trendy, a lot of students are into it and they buy the products. Would administration know that crochet is trendy? I don't know. Do they know about book talk? I mean, I'm not on TikTok, but there's a thing called book talk, and there's a lot of girls that they review books, they talk
Mm.
about books. It's a huge trendy thing right now. Well, we have a vendor that's going to sell blind books based off of famous book talk books. And would EIU administration know about book talk? Know about the interest among the women here at EIU in book talk and books? No,
Mm-mm.
they don't know.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, and they're going to do really well. I bet you.
I can guarantee that. And okay then. So and I was gonna say anything else you want to talk about, like any issues you've seen, not even just booth life, but anything else on campus wise. You've seen that any issues and things that could fix, especially for the students here on campus.
My number one gripe with EIU is the lack of community.
Yes, I can agree with that. And I was going to say, because I talked to once back home, a former student went to IU from 2014 and left in 2017.
Okay.
He said campus here was very vibrant. It was engaging,
Yeah.
community wise, fun.
Yep.
And honestly, no, after COVID, we kind of messed everything up in
Yep.
terms of socials, and that's nothing we can do about it. It's like even though it's been done for like what about good, and then COVID ended like around 2020. Well, the mass, I should say,
2022.
2022. Yeah, it's been a period of just trying to get things back in order. But
Pre-COVID,
yeah, it was fun.
pre-COVID EIU actually had events.
Oh yes, international students too as well.
Did you know that EIU pre-COVID had a budget specifically dedicated to concerts?
No, I did not.
That's another thing of student government.
Wow.
Peering behind the curtain.
Mm.
EIU had a budget to put on concerts here on the quad. And once COVID happened, they axed the budget.
Oh, man.
Axed it. Can you imagine if there were concerts every weekend here, just live concerts?
Every weekend?
I mean, I don't know if it was every weekend, but I mean, they
Oh.
had live concerts like multiple times every semester.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ah man, I will never forget the time Matthew Bennett came.
Yep.
That was fun, and I always give the EIU props. I was like, when's the next time a celebrity, Nickelodeon celebrity,
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
come to EIU? I know in the past they said they say Kendrick Lamar came here or Drake. It's some type of, I know it was one. So someone said Kendrick Lamar, or maybe who was it?
Kendrick Lamar, I don't know EIU.
Or maybe Jake. I don't know if it was Drake or I don't know someone that caliber. Someone came here, but
What?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
good celebrity. But
And that's the thing. I had no idea
I had no idea either.
that a celebrity was coming to EIU because of the lack of communication between administration and students.
And so, like, what do you think EIU needs to do to get that back up? Because it's going to take a minute.
It's unfortunate, but I think that, for people within the administration here at EIU, they clock in, they clock out, and they leave.
That is true.
And there needs to be more than that because I've been begging and pleading my professors here at EIU, the administration here at EIU, to come to the event just once, please, just show up.
Yes.
And they don't. They don't show up. And Flaherty, thank you for showing up to the event.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, Dr. Flaherty.
But most people don't. And because they don't know what's going on, they can't support it. And because they can't support it, the connection is lost.
And I would say, like, even because we all know no faculty, you guys are all busy with lives. That's understandable. But if you're not busy, just come out. See, I'll say someone always visualizes. I don't know if they did in the past. Have like the EIU president, maybe Jay Cottrell. Like my idea, maybe pop in the classroom. Maybe sit in the classroom for like choose one classroom, sitting there for about I don't know, maybe the whole time. Just understand the student's perspective. Stuff like people, and it'll kind of give them like a broader idea. Okay, maybe we're seeing this with the students. Let's try to do something better.
And here's the issue, right? When EIU tries to be like, hey, what do you want?
Just don't.
How do they do it? They send a survey out via email that no one fills out.
No.
We get so many emails for surveys every single semester that the ones that actually matter, I don't have the energy to fill out.
Mm-mm.
And if that's the only way that you're going to gauge, how what students want, what events they want, what things they want on campus, activities, things like that. If the only way to gauge that is a survey, you're not going to get the best results.
No.
I think that you need a certain group of students that you can rely on to say, what's trendy? What's new? What do people want? And, student government is that to a certain extent, but they have their own agenda and their own things that they need to get done, right? And so they peer through a certain lens. But if you just get a randomly selected group of students, maybe not randomly selected, but, students that, do a lot on campus, that participate on things on campus, that have, that try to do a lot, you should speak to those people and you should see, what do people want? And instead of just sending out surveys or doing the same events that you've been doing, or sending out flyers, there needs to be something new. And I will give EIU some credit. They did try something new. They did like a carnival.
They did.
I can't remember the name of the event, but it's like the beginning of the semester.
Yeah.
Just call it like the beginning of the semester bash.
Yes, summer bash.
They did something new where they got carnival equipment, and that was really fun. And I really hope EIU does more big events like that creates community. Because just
for real,
putting a bunch of carnival equipment on the lawn, got some food going. That's great.
That was fun.
And so I think how are they gonna fix the disconnect between students and administration? I don't know for sure, but I do know that an increase of communication is definitely the first step to anything.
Absolutely. So, and I always say, EIU has always, any school has potential to grow, but EIU definitely has the potential to grow and get back to where it was, previously. I know it's going to take time, but with the right people in charge that generally cares about, students and activities, there's no, I see EIU could thrive, but it's just going to take some time. So that's all I can really say. But I was going to say, now that we're getting to last part of the podcast, I was going to say, so let's turn lessons in growth. Like, how did these obstacles, you starting the small business fest to being in what it was now, what do those obstacles teach you about leadership in terms of growing?
It is better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
Yes.
If I had asked people, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? They would have said no, and it would have never happened. But because I did it and I proved to them that I could do it, and I proved to them that it works and that people are interested, okay. I just think in any form of entrepreneurship, in any form of business, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
And I was going to say the word forgiveness. Why do you think forgiveness is why you say forgiveness?
Well, first off, it's just a saying that you have in business. But
yeah,
I think that if you say, hey, I know this is not the way that things are done around here, and this is not the exact steps to follow, or maybe I didn't contact the right people to do this. But if you just see my motive and what I'm doing and the good that I'm creating, hopefully you can put it past, and we can just keep this going.
Absolutely.
Another thing that I could say for the people, be fearlessly creative. Be fearlessly creative, because this required a lot of creativity. And if I was scared about starting this event, if I was scared about, signing up, filling out the forms, talking to people, calling the offices, emailing, more forms, more setup, it would have never happened. So
Mm-hmm.
being fearlessly creative, being like, I know that this idea works. I enjoy it. I want to do it. You know, it requires some courage
Mm-hmm.
to do something that's never been done before.
Absolutely.
Before me, the Small Business Fest did not exist.
Oh yes.
And so doing something that's never been done before requires courage and fearlessness.
Mhm.
And that's a skill that people need to develop if they want to do something similar.
I like that. And like you always have to believe in your goals, but no matter how difficult it may be, take inspiration from Nick. Was denied, no, but he said, "I'm not going out like that. I'm going to go out, ask whatever I need to ask in order to get this up and running." Look what he did. It's up and running now. It's seventh. This is the seventh small business fest on campus. So no one can take that away from you. You know that, right? No one can take that.
Yep, they might not know who started it, but it'll still be here.
Honestly, man, I give you a shout. So him, Nick, the OG creator of the Small Business Fest, definitely if y'all see him around, please give him some love and appreciation because, like I said, entrepreneurship is not easy, especially us. But those who's trying to have them promote themselves out there to a good extent, it takes courage. So yeah, well, you're gonna get your flowers,
Thank you, sir.
of course.
Do what you want to do. Don't If someone tells you to do something, what's their motive behind that? Why are they telling you to do something? Why are they on your side?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has their own motive, everyone has their own agenda. Be true to yourself, and if you really feel like you can do something, you can do something.
Absolutely, man. And no, like always follow your dreams. As corny as may be, it's really not corny, but follow your dreams, man. Or whatever y'all do, just go for it.
That's all that entrepreneurship is at the end of the day, is just following your dreams.
Mhm.
I mean, look at this. I started something with nothing. I had some forms to fill out, I had some tables and chairs to set up, but the effort that I put in to convey to people how important this was to me and how important it could be to them
Yes.
is what kept it going. I started with 20 vendors on the library quad. 3 years ago,
Yes.
spring 2023, it's now spring 2026. We've had seven small business fests. Well, we had six. This is going to be number seven. And it started with 20, and now we're at 85 people signed up and ready to sell their products and services here on campus. I mean, this is an entrepreneurial area. We have the first Jimmy John's. We have the first Burger King.
That's true. Oh yeah.
Because
Yes.
we're in an area where there's not a lot,
Mm-mm.
we make something from nothing. And I encourage everybody to do the same. And, this could be a message to future, people
Mm-hmm.
that want to go to EIU, that are at EIU, join the entrepreneurship club,
Mm-hmm.
participate in the Small Business Fest, create a community. And if you don't want to do any of those things, then do what makes you happy and find other people that also take enjoyment in that and make your own group,
Absolutely, man.
make your own community.
Please do, and enjoy the ride too. Because like I say, depending however long you guys are here, the journey is all about what you make it. And there's gonna be a few bumps and roads, not even just school, but just life in general. And it's up to you how you deal with that. But just know mistakes is made. Everyone's gonna fall, and it's all right. But just don't give up.
And I guess, some closing remarks, I guess I could say is,
Absolutely.
hopefully, one day I'm able to work with EIU administration to actually market this event and,
Please.
What you can do, the power that you have here at EIU officially,
Mhm.
like official EIU marketing that goes out, on websites, on YouTube videos, all that. I want to do that. I want to work with them and say, hey, look, I'm doing them a favor. I mean, look what I've done and what I've created. I could say this is what you can do too if you come to EIU. That's a great marketing point. Hey, if you come to EIU, you can start your own event and create your own community because of the small class sizes, because of the smaller community. You're able to form, your own thing and become your own leader. I mean, look at me. And so I wish I could do that, with EIU to make this event even bigger. But if that's not the case, that's all right, because This has always been for students, by students,
Mhm.
to students.
Absolutely.
And so if at the end of the day, I don't work with administration to make it a bigger event, that's okay, because slowly but surely, this will keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's gotten to the point where the people that have been doing this for years, they're able to teach the people that have been doing this for months.
Yes.
And so because we have this level of seniority now where we've had people that have done this 6 times. We've had people that sell their products here on campus 5 times, 6 times. And now they're teaching the next generation. And because they're teaching the next generation, the next generation will have the skills needed to keep the event going,
Yes.
and so on and so forth. And so, be fearlessly creative. If you want to start an event here on campus, unusual event form,
Mhm.
facility request form, campus scheduling. You need those 3. Unusual event form, facility request form, campus scheduling. I hope, I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope you start your own events. If you don't, check out the Small Business Fest.
Yes.
I hope you learn from me, and I hope you learn that the power that you have to create the things that you want to do. All this was blood, sweat, and tears, and some time. Just a lot of forms, a lot of talking to people, a lot of emails, bureaucracy, a lot of physical labor. Setting up tables and chairs, putting up flyers, social media posts, talking to people. If you have the drive to do that, if you have a dream and you want to achieve it, all you need is the drive to do so. And I believe in you. I believe in you.
And same here. I believe in you. And with this, going back to with this podcast is not just for show. I don't care about. I would love to get more views, but like I said, I'm doing this because I love it. And no matter if I get 1, 5, or even 10 views, as long as it's just for fun. It's for you guys.
You know what, Terrell? I actually have a saying.
Yes.
And this started all the way back in the first Small Business Fest. As long as I helped one person,
Exactly.
everything is worth it. As long as one person, found some help in all of this, then it was worth it. And that, I had a similar mantra when I was in student government and entrepreneurship club. I started some events in student government as well. A little financial literacy week, help people work on their finances, saving, budgeting, investing. That was a hard event to put on. And, it didn't get a lot of people showing up. But guess what? My mantra, as long as one person shows up, as long as I helped one person with this event, it's all worth it. And, I achieved that goal, both in student government, both in entrepreneurship club, and hopefully in my career as well.
And honestly, hearing your story, you definitely inspired me to go out and achieve my dream. So
Awesome.
I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you taking time to be on this podcast.
Fantastic. This was great.
So like I said, y'all see Nick, please give him a shout out. I'll put all his information in the description if you guys have more questions about entrepreneurship or Small Biz Fest. Like I said, this next Saturday, 10 to 5. So be out there at Library Quad. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Happy Easter to you guys. And I will see you guys later. Bye. Awesome.